What's going on, guys? This is Raymond Ironbody McKinney. Today I want to touch on more on this idea of you must take action in order to succeed at your goals. And when I hear stuff like you must take action, I mean, it just seems very vague. Like, what the hell does that mean? What does action mean? It means act. And I don't think of it as like this physical grinding thing. That just seems to be like some sort of popular opinion that you must take action in order to succeed. Effort and all that stuff. Guys, I want to tell you right now that when people say you must take action, they're coming from a state of their own experience. Their own experience. That's what they share with you. Like, if it comes through like hard grinding effort kind of thing, blood, sweat, and tears, that's from a state of consciousness, guys. Make the assumption that they're going from an assumption, guys. Whatever they assume true appears true to them. They assume that life only works in your favor when you take physical grind and action and effort. You gotta beat the living shit out of yourself in order to succeed at your goals. And yes, that's true relative to them, guys. You do not have to be that person to beat the living shit out of yourself in order for goals to work in your favor. You can simply, that's from a state of consciousness, guys. You can assume for yourself that life, that even like the seemingly hard things, guys, you can assume that the seemingly hard things, they're the easiest things in the world for you. And people will look at you like, how's this guy doing this? It's like he's making things so easy. Like, another thing, guys, when I'm out here running like 13 to 20 miles, whatever, people say, well, Raymond's taking action, physical action. My state of consciousness precedes action, guys, physical action. My state of consciousness determines my physical actions through time and space. And what appears as time and space, separate from us, that's an assumption, guys. You can assume that space and time are separate from you, and that's how it's going to appear to be. Or you can assume that time and space are determined by your state of consciousness, and that's how it will also appear to be. That time and space movement, your actions through time and space, physical actions through time and space, they're determined by your state of consciousness. And when you can make this assumption, you can make this assumption for yourself, that only my physical actions are determined by my state of consciousness, directed by my self-narration, my assumptions, directed by my observation. It's focus. Whatever you put your focus on, that's what reveals your frame, that's what directs your frame of reference. Your frame of reference. And I make this assumption too, guys. You don't have to agree with me because I'm going by an assumption. Though false if persistent and hard in effect. I assume that my frame of reference, directed by my observation, reveals my space-time experiences in the form of physically running out here, interacting with people just out of the blue, or just like money showing up out of the blue. My physical actions, guys, my physical actions are all automatic. If I think of money all the time, just receiving a lot of money, it could come in the form of just literally seeing a $100 bill on the ground right here, out of the blue. Like, some may say it would happen anyway. Guys, take it for what's worth. Doesn't matter if it's coincidence. I assume also that coincidences are always happening moment by moment. That's what we're just becoming increasingly aware of what's already existing here and now. Though it appears without, it's within our imagination, of which this world of mortality is but a shadow, by William Blake. So guys, I'm literally trying to share with you, not theory. I want to go beyond theory and get out of the idea of theorizing and to actually apply this way of thinking into our lives without trying to go in circles like with theories and all that. Yeah, theories are good theories are okay to kind of get understanding, or just kind of like modeling reality. Things like theory of evolution, all these things, yeah, they're cool models. These models are useful in terms of like the individual frameworks. But when you're thinking on a deeply, infinitely larger, dimensionally larger scale, that you are the one, you're observant, that your observation reveals your relative objective experiences. That everything's already rendered in place. That nothing exists until, or things only appear as they are when you observe them. That I don't think of it as like the observer changing the world kind of thing. But the observer is getting different viewpoints of what already is. When you look at things differently, the things you look at the same substance of energy. You're looking at different viewpoints of the same substance of energy, same substance of life. And I'm attempting to make these messages very practical. You don't have to quit your day job kind of thing. You don't have to put yourself in risky situations. Like again, that's another thing. Maybe some people assume that you must quit your job if you want to go reach this gigantic goal of success and all that stuff. Quit your job, put yourself at extreme risk. Well, what if you have a family? It's like, someone who has a family, they wouldn't do that. More likely they wouldn't do that. Unless they're in a position where they had to, kind of thing. But guys, what I'm sharing with you is that you don't have to put yourself in risky situations. That you can experience these amazing experiences without trying to sacrifice anything. You know, the only sacrifice I view, guys, the only sacrifice is thinking from the new reality, thinking about utilizing and investing in new thoughts and new viewpoints. That's the only sacrifice I see. You're letting go of old destructive thoughts, or just thoughts that disempowering thoughts, limiting thoughts, and thinking from thoughts of just abundance, just more empowering thoughts. And guys, here's another thing that I think is relieving too. You can be pessimistic.
3 miles, 30 minutes, 8 seconds. Average pace 10 minutes, 2 seconds per mile.
You can be a pessimist or an optimist. Doesn't matter. You can still manifest, even look at life kind of negatively. That you can assume for yourself that even though I'm not really that optimistic of a person, things just seem to be showing up, working in my favor. You can doubt manifesting, guys. You can assume that manifesting doesn't work. It's like, I don't believe in manifesting. It's like when and then it's like things still seem to show up. It's like, you can play at those games, guys. You can say, even though I don't really believe in manifesting, it still seems like things are still working in my favor. So yeah, you can be a pessimist or an optimist at life. For me, I suggest to kind of look at life optimistically. Just kind of, because I think it's more exciting. And yeah, you can be life just seems like hell. It may seem like it, but you can manifest cool things in life too, guys. You're just getting different viewpoints of what already is. Doesn't matter, from my assumption. You don't have to be this overly excited person. You can just be a neutral person, or someone may a little bit just seems like life just doesn't seem that worth it. It's okay to acknowledge those feelings. It's okay to not be the most optimistic person in the world kind of thing. You don't need to be this overly joyed person, especially all the time. It's okay to experience moments of sadness. You know you can manifest. Again, you can manifest. You're simply manifesting, guys, is simply recognizing what you already are. You're simply recognizing, getting different viewpoints of what already is. That's it. You can make this, and there's probably another debate when it comes to the manifesting community, deliberate manifesting community, that thoughts create reality, their feelings create reality, all that stuff, guys. Yet it comes down to whatever you assume is true becomes true. If you assume that your feelings reveal your experiences, that's what will reveal your experiences. If you feel feeling your emotions, all that stuff. If you think shadow work, your inner child kind of stuff, which I find a little unnecessary to go through all that. If you assume that works for you, it works for you. And if you also assume that your thoughts create reality without trying to force it or without trying to get into an emotional state kind of thing, that will manifest too, guys. Whatever you assume is true relatively becomes true. Whatever you assume true becomes relatively true relative to your frame of reference, directed by your assumptions, your observation, your decisions, your intentions. So guys, that's my viewpoint on all this stuff. Especially when it comes to action, it's based on your assumptions. Your physical actions are determined by your state of mind, your state of consciousness. Your state of consciousness is determined by your observation. Whatever you assume is true. If you assume that life is easy, that you assume that life is easy for you, it appears as easy. And if you assume that life is hard, telling yourself that's hard, it'll appear as hard because you're just imposing those ideas on yourself. No one's stopping you but you, guys. Assume life any way you desire. You can change your assumptions. You're always changing your assumptions, guys. You can always change your mind about how to view life. So guys, that's the main message I'm just kind of sharing with you. It's a little longer than some of our other videos, but I just find it kind of important to share a message like this. So guys, I hope this video helps. And I bless you all, and happy manifesting. What would the Iron Body do? I am the Iron Body, and I've always been master of manifesting.